It's 3 in the morning. You wake up, no alarm, no noise, just awake. Your heart isn't racing, you're not scared, you just feel done sleeping, even though it's still dark outside. So you lie there, thinking, waiting, maybe a little annoyed at yourself. And here's the strange part. For most of human history, this wasn't a problem. This was normal. This was just Tuesday night, because for thousands of years, humans didn't sleep in one long block like we do now. They slept in two. First sleep, then an hour or two awake in the middle of the night, then second sleep. And once you know that, you start wondering, if that was normal for so long, why does almost nobody do it today? What changed? And more importantly, what did we lose when it disappeared? Let's go back. Before electricity, before streetlights, before phones that glow in the dark, night used to mean actual darkness. Total darkness. The kind you can't even picture unless you've been somewhere with zero light pollution, out in a field or deep in the woods, where you genuinely can't see your own hand in front of your face. And in that darkness, ancient humans didn't just pass out for 8 hours straight. They'd sleep for a few hours after sunset, then wake up naturally in the middle of the night, not from fear, not from noise, just awake. The same way you might wake up naturally after a nap, feeling like your body simply decided it had rested enough for now. And during that gap, they'd do quiet things, talk, think, have sex, pray, tend the fire. Some historical accounts even describe people visiting neighbors in the middle of the night like it was completely normal, the way you might text a friend at midnight today. Then, after an hour or two, they'd lie back down and drift into a second sleep until morning. Historians actually have a name for this. They call it biphasic sleep. 2 phases, not one. But here's where it gets interesting. This wasn't just some random habit a few tribes had. Evidence for it shows up across completely different cultures, different continents, different centuries, all describing the same basic pattern. Old letters mention it, court records mention it, medical texts from hundreds of years ago casually refer to first sleep and second sleep, like everyone already knew exactly what that meant, the same way we'd casually mention breakfast or lunch without needing to explain what a meal is, which raises an obvious question. If this was so widespread, if it shows up again and again across history, why did it just vanish? Why does almost nobody talk about it now? The answer comes down to one invention: artificial light. Once humans figured out how to light up the night cheaply and reliably, everything shifted. Candles helped a little, but they were expensive and messy. Gas lamps helped more, but the real turning point was the electric light bulb. Suddenly, night wasn't just for sleeping anymore. It was for working, socializing, staying productive long after the sun went down. And slowly, without anyone deciding it on purpose, the culture around sleep changed. Sleep stopped being something you did in 2 relaxed chunks. It became something you had to compress into one efficient block so you could get back to being awake and useful as fast as possible. The 2 sleeps merged into one, not because our biology changed, because our environment did. But here's the problem: our biology never got the memo. Sleep scientists have actually tested this directly. In one well-known study, people were placed in near total darkness for weeks at a time. No artificial light, no clocks, no signals telling them what time it was supposed to be. And again, something specific happened. Within just a few weeks, without being told to, people naturally drifted back into that same 2-phase pattern. First sleep, a quiet awake period lasting about an hour or so. Second sleep, nobody taught them this. Nobody suggested it. Their bodies just remembered, which means biphasic sleep might not be some outdated cultural habit that faded away because it stopped working. It might be the default setting our bodies revert to, the moment nothing artificial is interfering with them. So if you've ever woken up at 3 a.m. for no reason and immediately assumed something was wrong with you, that reaction might actually be backwards. That moment of being awake in the dark isn't necessarily a malfunction. It might be your body doing exactly what it was designed to do before the modern world convinced you it was broken. But that leaves one more question. If waking up at night used to be totally normal, why does it feel so miserable now? Why does it turn into an hour of staring at the ceiling, doing anxious math about how tired you'll be tomorrow? Here's the twist. It's not the waking up itself that causes the stress. It's what we do next. Ancient humans woke up in the dark and just accepted it. No panic, no pressure, no glowing screen telling them it's 3 in the morning and they only have 4 hours left before the alarm goes off. They just existed in that quiet stretch of night, the same way you'd exist in any other ordinary moment of the day. Modern humans wake up and immediately spiral. We check the time. We do the math on how much sleep we're losing. We reach for a phone, and that bright screen tells our brain it's basically daytime, which makes it even harder to fall back asleep. So the ancient body still does the old, completely normal thing, waking up briefly at night. But the modern mind treats it like an emergency. That mismatch between an ancient body doing something it's evolved to do and a modern mind treating it like a crisis might be a big part of why so many people struggle with anxiety around sleep in the first place. We didn't necessarily start sleeping worse. We might have just started reacting worse to something that was always completely normal. And there's something else worth noticing here. That quiet hour between first sleep and second sleep wasn't wasted time for ancient humans. It wasn't dead space. It was often when people processed the day, thought through problems, connected with a partner. Some historians even suspect it played a role in creativity, since a relaxed, half-awake mind tends to make loose, unexpected connections that a fully alert mind doesn't. Compare that to how we treat a middle-of-the-night waking today. We don't sit with it. We don't use it. We fight it, because we've been taught that any interruption to sleep is automatically bad. But maybe interruption isn't always the enemy. Maybe it depends entirely on how you respond to it. So next time you wake up at 3 a.m. for no clear reason, here's a different way to think about it. You're not broken. You're not failing at sleep. You haven't done anything wrong. You might just be doing something humans have done for most of history, in a world that forgot it was ever normal.